I don't know if we did paragraph A, but we'll do it anyway. Okay. Okay, we just learned a mimer now about, if you want to call it, the reward for serving God. The reward for serving God. Even though obviously it's not really the reward, because we say all the Jews have a portion in the raising of the dead. Whether you served God or you didn't serve God, whether you were a terrible sinner, whether you hated Judaism, you didn't hate Judaism, you're a Jew, you get a place in the raising of the dead. On one hand, you might think that's, not very motivating. If I can get the raising of the dead for free, then why do anything? So the answer is, yeah, if that's the way you live your life, that everything is reward and punishment, sort of Freudian life, everybody lives just for have pleasure and avoid pain, whatever, then you're right. You're right 100%. But if a person lives his life for values, for truth, and as he values life itself, and what is life, then start to realize, wow, if God is so amazing and he loves us so much, he's going to give everybody the world to come, no matter what you do. No matter what you do, you don't have to believe anything, you're going to get the world to come. So if so, it should be it's a real pleasure to serve the Creator. It's really amazing. I can serve the Creator. That's really incredible. God is so good. You can't find any example of good like that in the world, being so good. Just giving and giving and giving. I mean, maybe the Lubavitcher Rebbe, maybe there's other people. I mean, I'm just familiar with the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Maybe there's other people also. But just giving all the time, giving and giving blessings and giving advice and teaching Torah and giving out and giving his time. Okay, so when you think that God is so good, he's creating us for free. Just think about it. He's giving us life for free, and then there's going to be this thing of the raising of the dead, and it's all for free. Maybe I should do something for him for free. Maybe I should do everything for him for free. Right? That's supposed to be the idea. In other words, doing the truth because it's the truth. Okay, what does it mean serving God? What does it mean to serve him? What does it mean serving God? Right? I want to serve God. What does it mean? There's a book called the Kuzari. You ever heard of this book? Kuzari. And there used to be a nation called the Khuzars. I don't know where they were. They were somewhere in Western Asia or somewhere. Khuzars, maybe like Turkey or somewhere around there. This is the king of the Khuzars. There's some people say it never existed, but anyway, there's the king of the Khuzars. There's a book called the Kuzari. And the story is that this king, he's tremendously successful, and he wants to know what is the right religion. So he gets a priest and a Qadi, whatever it is, a Muslim leader, and a Christian leader, and a Jewish rabbi, and he asks them, explain me some things about the world, explain me things about your religion, explain this. And that's the whole book, is explaining what it is. And the rabbi comes up with these really, really amazing explanations. And the king finally says, yes, I think that he converted in the end. I don't know. I tell you the truth, I only read parts of the book. I didn't read the whole thing. And I don't think the rabbi suggests in the 7 Noahide commandments. Anyway, you have to look at the book. Anyway, the point of the book is, how do you serve God? The king there, this king of the Khuzars, he says, I know there's God, but I don't know how to serve him. I want to serve God. I feel this obligation to my Creator. And I want to serve my Creator. How do I do it? So this is already step number 2. Right? Step number 2. Right? Religion is good. Unlike, all these atheists, whatever, John Paul Sartre and Dawkins and these other people. Hawkins is another guy also. Religion is a good thing. In other words, to believe in a power that's above you is good. It can be hijacked. Religion can be hijacked. It can be misused. Just like freedom can be misused. Just like life can be misused. I don't want to get into it, but there's this thing of this Black Lives Matter. Life can't be black. It can't be white. Life is colorless. Life is pure. Life is a gift from Hashem. God puts life into animals, into trees, into this, into people. The life that's inside of people, it's according to the Torah. I mean, if you didn't have the Torah, then the life is there equal. You know, there's these people in India that they believe that bugs, I think in America, there's some people also, that, you know, cats and dogs are more valuable than people, you know. But just in general, the Torah tells us that life is precious and valuable. The Torah says that life as it is in animal form, when a life comes into an animal, so it's different than it comes into a person, etc. A Jew is different from a non-Jew. But life is precious. All life is precious. All life is valuable. You can't give pain to an animal for no reason because it's alive. Life is a precious thing. And to appreciate it, the question is, what do you do with it? How do you serve the Creator? So that's what this week's Torah portion is about. The Jews came up to they're close to the land of Israel, the promised land. This is like a little more than a year after they got out of Egypt. And that's it. They're going to go in, they're going to get the Torah. They're going to get them, they have the Torah, they have everything. They're going to go into the land of Israel. And that's it. So the Jewish people said to Moshe, we don't want to go in. And Moshe says, what is this? Why? He says, well, you know, you sent these spies in to look at the land of Israel. And they did their job. They came back. And they said that we can't do it. So that's it. We can't do it. And so Moses says, I don't understand. You know, first of all, where did the spies get this from? And second of all, what do you care what they say? God told you to go in. This is the promised land. This is what we've been waiting for. We're going to the land of Israel. We're going to show the whole world that God creates the world. We're going to take the land and make a holy land. The land already is holy, but we're making, when the Jews go in, it becomes a holy land. Revealed holy land. Come on, let's go in. People said, no, Moses, you know, you go in. We'll think about it. Don't forget to write. You know, we'll remember you. Moses, we'll remember you, Moses. Thanks a lot. But take off. So God says, what in the world is going on? Why do the Jewish people not want to go in? All of them. God says, I'll wipe out all of them. That's what he says to Moses. Some say the women did want to go in, but anyway, whoever didn't want to go in was certainly the majority. Maybe all the men didn't want to go. Anyway, God said, I'll wipe them all out. That's what it says in the pasuk. It says, I'll wipe them all out, and you'll be a new nation. That's God says. So the Rebbe says, why didn't they want to go in? What's going on? Why didn't they want to go in? Says what? Because they were afraid of the giants that were there. I mean, God decimated all of Egypt. Egypt ruled over the whole world. It says over there by Kriyas Yam Suf, Namogo Kol Yeshvei Canaan. It says that all the people in Canaan, all the giants, and they were afraid of the Jews. Everyone was afraid of the Jews. And the Jews knew it. Why didn't they want to go in? So the Rebbe gives an explanation. Because God himself hinted that it's going to be different. God himself told the Jews, the reason I want you to go into the land of Israel is because I want you to do it yourselves. I took you out of Egypt. I give you bread from heaven. I give you water from a rock. I'm protecting with clouds, giving you new garments all the time. Right? I defeat all your enemies. You can sit and learn Torah. You have the Holy Torah. You'll never forget about me. Right? Here you are in the desert. Wonderful. You're going to go into the land of Israel? Forget it. No more clouds of glory. No more water from rock. No more bread from heaven. Right? You're not going to be protected. You're going to have to fight your own battles. You have to acquire your own food. And you have to dig wells for your own water and make your own clothes. It's going to be up to you. But I'm going to be with you. I'll help you. And the Jews said, no way. No way, man. I mean, if you want us to go into the land of Israel, God, so you know what? Stop giving us the bread from heaven. Take away the clouds. Right? Take away the water from the rock. Then we'll consider it. Then we'll be forced to go in. But here you're protecting us from all sides. You're giving us water. You want us to leave all that in the desert? We understand what you want, God. This is a test to see if we really want to learn Torah or not. Here in the desert, we learn Torah uninterruptedly. No telephones, no knocking on the door. There's no doors. Everybody has all the food they need. We're satisfied all the time. We can sit and learn Torah and pray all day. And that's what you want, right, God? That's called serving God. That's called repaying you back. So that's this whole portion of the Torah. What does it mean to serve God? What does it mean? The Jews got out of Egypt. They appreciated everything. And we're talking about appreciation. They got the Torah, right? Nothing could be better. God is doing the miracles. They're together. That's partnership. We're receiving and you're giving. It's like the joke that a professor of economics said, I have come up with a solution to solve all the problems of poverty in the world. I have a way to convince the poor people to accept. Now all I have to do is convince the rich people to give. In other words, the poor people, they're willing, the Jews were willing in the desert to accept. We'll receive your manna, we'll receive this or that. The only problem is God going to give us? And he's giving us. But God said, that's not what I call serving God. Serving God means changing yourself. Avodah means ibud. You're here in the world to change the world, not to take the world as it is, not to remove yourself from the world. The Jews are here to change the world. Now go into the land of Israel and change the world. Turn the world over now. Okay, Jews, what do you say? And the Jews said, this is a good philosophy. This is a nice idea, God. We're going to think about this. We're going to think about this. But, meanwhile, I'm really hungry, I just ate man a little bit. Take it easy. And all the Jews said, no, we're not going to go in. You say whatever you want to. I'm not changing. So God got tremendously angry.
I have a question.
Yes. So we have two reasons the Rebbe gives why the Jews wanted to stay in the desert. Number one is they were afraid that if they went into the land of Israel, that they wouldn't succeed, that God wouldn't be with them like it was in the desert. And number two, they enjoyed being in the desert. In the desert, they could learn Torah, they could be holy, they could serve God according to the way they wanted. And God, they didn't realize that God wanted a totally different type of service. That's what we're going to talk about now. Yes, question.
Yeah, is there the possibility that this generation of men that left Egypt, ones that are 20 to 60, was a very damaged generation? They were damaged by what happened in Mitzrayim. They came out, and let's put a little perspective to it. They complained about everything. This the situation with Korach actually happens before, chronologically, before this series, before this problem with the scouts and the spies.
No,
constantly complaining.
No. It's not so.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not so. Korach comes immediately afterwards.
They were complained about the meat before this. They were having problems. Right. Korach chronologically comes before the spies.
No. It comes after. There's a book called Seder Olam. The Rebbe brings it.
I think Rashi says that it comes before the spies.
Korach?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, they are complaining all along. Now, the women and the children were maybe not as affected by the experience in Mitzrayim, but they are a generation that's really bad. That can't be necessarily built upon. And,
listen, I want to say something. The essence of Torah, the essence of life is that man has free choice and man can overcome any of his past, any of his conditions, any of his past experiences, his, whatever we're going to call it, his traumas in life, and etc. Human beings can overcome it, especially if they have Moses to be with them. Especially if Moses to be with them.
But they didn't, and God wiped out that entire generation.
When? What are you talking? When?
After the series, after the spies, Hashem wiped out the generation between 20 and 60. They did not enter the promised land, and it kept everyone from entering the promised land until they were all gone.
It took them 40 years. Here, if you look at next week's portion, first of all, what's not important, it says, Ne'amar b'seder olam shemachloket Korach ve'edoto shel Moshe v'Aaron ir la'achar parshas Meraglim. Korach and the capital. Okay, but it's not important. The Jewish people, when God took them out of Egypt, they should have been happy. They should have been grateful. They should have realized what God. It's like letting a person out of prison, right? There's the whole series that I saw of people that were unjustly imprisoned, and they got out of prison after 20 years, 30 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, right? Almost all the people, at least that I saw, they got out of prison. They were, of course, the government gave them recompensation as much as they could, and so they got out with a few $1 million. Anyway, whatever it is, these people got out. The majority of them were very grateful. They were very grateful.
But there's also an experience that people who spend their entire lives in prison are damaged by it. When they get out of prison, they don't know what to do.
Okay.
I'm not talking about people that were in there 7, 8 years. These people who these Jews who left Egypt, who were between 20 and 60, they spent their entire lives in that prison, Mitzrayim.
Okay, so you can look at it in two ways. You understand? You can look at it in two ways. You can look at it that, a person's always going to be stuck in the past, or you can look at it that he should be grateful for exactly the opposite. Thank you, God. It was so terrible in Egypt. Thank you, God, for taking me out of Egypt. Thank you for, it's like the saying, who did the Holocaust? God did the Holocaust or Hitler did the Holocaust? You say, the Holocaust is so terrible. We suffered with this. Therefore, I left Judaism. Right, God? So why be mad at God? Why take away Hitler? You'd be mad at him. Hitler, he was the one that did the Holocaust. You should be thankful to God that you got out, that you're alive. The same thing with Egypt, right? We were in Egypt. We suffered so much. Now the same God who put us in Egypt, he wants us to do the commandments. We can't do it. It's a matter of attitude. In other words, true, you're right. You're right. It was, if you want to call it unfair, that God put the Jews into Egypt and that they suffered so much.
I didn't say that at all.
No, and they can carry this around all the time with them.
No, I'm saying that they were maybe damaged, and
that's what I mean.
They are coming.
What does that mean, damaged? What does it mean, damaged? Damage means that you can't live in the present, and that's not so. That's simply not so. The essence of Judaism is, no matter what happened in the past, even though you'll have to draw from very deep inside of your soul, but whatever happened in the past, that you can overcome it. Not just the Jews, any human being. This is the message of life, of Jews.
I can point to lots of people that never overcame the horrors of the Holocaust.
Right. That was the...
And certainly the women overcame it, but the men, the children overcame it.
No.
Generations.
No. They were here, look at all the Chassidic gore, Chassidic Vishnitz, older men, they went through the Holocaust. Okay, they went through. They stopped being religious? No, they believed in God.
But a lot, not all did, but a lot did.
I don't know. Could be. I don't know if you can take an example. Could be. The Rebbe said, the Rebbe, well, I think he was pretty familiar with the subject. He said that people that say that they don't believe in God because of the Holocaust, they probably didn't believe that much before the Holocaust. Not only that, they were very young, but I don't want to really get into the subject. The point of the matter is, yes, you're right. The Jews definitely have a good excuse. They do have a good excuse. Listen, the people going into the generation, the new, they can also say, listen, we wandered around in the desert for 40 years. Our parents got killed in the desert because God got mad. What type of a God is this? Everybody can look at whatever happens in a negative way and a positive way. And we'll see in the Parsha, in the beginning of the book of Devorim, that it says, Elo Devorim asher diber Moshe b'arvos Moab, and he starts to give this reproof to the Jewish people. And one of the proofs it says is that he gave them the Chatzerot v'dei zahav. It says dei zahav. It says, God says, because I gave you so much gold when you left Egypt, and gave you so much benefit, that's why you made the golden calf. In other words, why did they make the golden calf? Because it was so good. They had so much good, so much benefit that they went berserk. They have so much good, they thought that they were the boss. In other words, a person, if he decides it can be good, it's like I have a little bit of a connection with people who are in addiction. People who are addicts, everything throws them into it, to take another drink, to take another, things are really good, things are really bad, things are really good. It's a person's own decision in life, how he wants to look at what life is. It's true, they had terrible experiences in Egypt, and not what to say, right? And they were given terrible tests all the way around. Abraham had the biggest claims against God you could have, right? He was did everything for God, and God says, take your son and kill him. Abraham could have said, that was the 10th test. Abraham could have said, okay, God, that's it, I'm finished. 9 tests, I'm going out of my mind. And this is my son. This is all I've got in life is my son. I'm not killing him. I'm not going to take him up and sacrifice him. That's the basis of Judaism. That's the essence, the foundation of Judaism. Is not going into heaven and not doing this, but to to serve God no matter what. To appreciate the Creator, that's called service. That's very difficult. For a person to change his attitude, to change his look at the past and at the present and at this, the world is so terrible, it's so painful, it's so difficult, and such disappointing, traumatic, terrible things happen in the world, right? I mean, just open up a newspaper, which I don't advise anybody to do, to open up a newspaper. But if you do, you just see it, just evil jumps out at you from everywhere. And it's all over the place. So what are you supposed to do? They say that was one of the main things of the Rebbe. What the Rebbe did is that he restored the pride of Jews in themselves after the Holocaust. The Holocaust destroyed the pride of the Jewish people. A person held on to Judaism. He was like a real, hero, but just for me, not for anybody else. And the Rebbe said, no, we're going to overcome this. We can't give any reward to Hitler whatsoever. That's turning the whole thing over on its face. What I'm trying to say is that past experiences and traumas and things like that, it's excuses. It sure is excuses, 100% excuses. But we can't use excuses. Reb Mendel Futterf has told me, an excuse is a disgusting thing. A terutz is a sheretz, he said. An excuse is bad.
Well, I'm not actually talking about excuses. I'm trying to understand what happened. I mean, to me, it seems like this generation wasn't like they looked around and saw all bad things. Bad things were pointedly done at them. The experience for the man in Mitzrayim was a bad experience. They came out of it. They'd been there for a long time. They were sublimated in it. God loved these people, loved this generation. And I think basically he realized that they needed time to rest. And maybe that's,
That was supposed to be the idea of Sfirat Omer. That was the idea of counting the Omer.
Maybe it wasn't enough. And he realized he needed to give them more.
I'm sure that's what they thought.
I mean, some people say that, we are possibly, the last generation is that generation of men coming back. I don't know.
It says that our generation is the generation. Actually, it says our generation is the generation of the Holy Temple. It says that let's say our generation is fixing up all the generations, the past generations that there were.
Sometimes when we're sick, the best medicine is just to rest. Maybe Hashem in his wisdom gave that generation a chance to rest.
Could be a little bit. Too much rest is not a good thing. They say doing nothing is the worst job of all. Why? Because you can't take a rest. Okay, let's go. Hey. La'amito shel davar. The fact of the matter is, we're in paragraph hey. No. This is what we're going to learn next week, tomorrow. Very good.
I was going to ask you if this was the right one.
This is
do you have the right one?
Yes, definitely. But now we are learning a Sicha of the Rebbe from Parshat Shelach. So, okay, ready? Here we go. Maybe I should just say it in English. So what does God want? God wants the Jews to go into the land of Israel and to deal with the problems of life and to get their own food and water and fight enemies. And the Jews, they wanted to serve God in a totally different way. They wanted to stay in the desert and serve God in quiet and peace of mind and learn Torah. Says the Rebbe, hey, la'amito shel davar, in fact, hariyanisim amalubashim b'derech hateva, miracles that are in nature, nalim, are higher minanisim than the miracles which are revealed above nature. The Jews, when they left Egypt, they saw a whole series of amazing miracles above nature. The 10 plagues, the splitting of the sea, the falling of man and water from a rock, and how God protected them. Those are amazing miracles. Says the Rebbe, miracles that occur day to day are higher than the miracles that happened back then. And the miracles that happen day to day, that happens day to day, right now also. Hanisim she'al tivim, miracles that are above nature. This proves that God is not limited to nature. God is outside of nature. We did this yesterday. And that God has the power whenever he wants to completely change nature. But the miracles that are in nature, in other words, I have to make a living for my family. All of a sudden I get a job. All of a sudden, the miracles that are in nature, this proves that God is he's not relegated to be above nature. God is not limited to being spiritual, but he can also be, in addition to the fact that he's unlimited, God, so to speak, can also put himself in the world in a way of limitation. And that's why he gave the Torah, is to explain how he does this. Right? A person can say, well, if God can limit himself, then maybe this is God. Maybe if God can limit himself, then he's everywhere. This can be God. What's the answer to that? You're right. It could be. But in the Torah, it says it's not. The Torah clearly says, everything is godliness, yes, but there's certain things you cannot worship God. Right? The Holy Temple is different than the Empire State Building. It's all godliness, but the Holy Temple, to put a tefillin on your left arm, right? If you're a right-handed person, you put tefillin over here. You want to put tefillin in your leg? Good idea, but the Torah says not to do it. You want to put tefillin between your eyes? You want to make them round, right? There were people at Sadukim that said that you should do, but that's not right. That's what the Torah says to do. You have to serve God according to the Torah, but you have to serve God in this world. This revelation in this world, this is the mainly in the Holy of Holies. We said this last time, remember? In the Holy of Holies. In the Holy of Holies was revealed limitation and above limitation at the same time. We are now on Vav. Vav. We did this also yesterday. That's what he said yesterday, right? That now we can understand why Kalev said, let us go up and conquer the land. He didn't give any reasons, no logic whatsoever. These people were all burning, right? Burning to stay in the desert. They had 1,000 good reasons to stay in the desert. All the reasons that I gave you in the beginning, that God said he's not going to help them in the land of Israel and etc. And not going to do any miracles in the land of Israel. Not that God will help them, but he won't do any miracles in the land of Israel. And also they wanted to stay in the desert in order to learn Torah. All these, what did Kalev say? He didn't give any logic. He just said, let's go up and take over the land. When he said, let us go up, Ya'aleh na'aleh, this indicates on two types of elevation. Two types of elevation. One is that you are elevating yourself into the spiritual. And the second is that you're bringing the spiritual into the physical world. And that can only be done in the land of Israel. V'zeu, and this is the second paragraph there. This is also Mashem Asayim, where it says, Yerusha will tell that we will conquer it. Yerusha, conquering, also means inheriting. When a person inherits something, then he stands in the place of the inheritor. Now, there's a person's father owned a big building. One who inherits it means that he takes the place of his father. That's what it means. We will inherit the land. Yorashnu oto. It's not like selling something or getting a gift. When a person buys something, it comes into his possession. Or a gift, it comes into his possession. He has to take possession of it. But inheritance, you don't have to go and take possession of it. If it's written in the will of someone that you own this big building, then you don't have to take it. It's there. You don't have to go and make any possession. It's yours. The same thing is also here. Conquering the land of Israel means that the land really belongs to us. We are put in the place before the land belongs to us, before it would belong to us, it belonged only to God. And God said, we're going to be in his place. Now, of course, God did not die in order to give it to us. It's not the same thing. So God is always there. What does it mean? The land really belongs to Hashem. And God is saying, come into the land, do what I want, and you'll be in my place. It'll be yours. It's like you're the owner of the land. This was said many times. I remember Rev Mordechai Eliyahu also said several times that the land of Israel does not belong to the Jewish people. If it did belong to the Jewish people, we could give it away. The land of Israel belongs only to God. And God says that we can be in his place here as long as we do what he wants. Why are we here in the land of Israel? What's so important about the land of Israel? Why not be here? Why not make Chicago or whatever? The Reformed Jews, why they call their places temples, this is what I heard, is because they said we don't have to have any temple in Israel. Berlin will make a temple. We'll make a temple in Chicago. That's a temple. We don't have the holy temple is wherever. It's not holy also. Not temple, right? We'll make a temple. The fact of the matter is no. The land of Israel is holy. Why? Because this is the place where God wants us to make him revealed, just like he was revealed in the holy temple. That's what it means. We are Yoresh. We inherit. We, so to speak, are in God's place when we're here. We take the place of God, but it's on the condition that we do what God wants. Can we do a little bit more? Should we do a little bit more? No, we'll have to do this tomorrow. All right, we'll finish it tomorrow. Zion. Tomorrow we'll finish this.